I'm Rob from Barefoot Gaming, and today I review the HyperX Cloud Stinger and the HyperX Cloud Core. Now, I may not be an audiophile, but I'm also not on the bottom of the rung. You're not going to catch me eating the silica gel that comes with the headphones. So I'm somewhere in the middle, but I did piles of research on this because I really want to give you guys an honest and accurate representation of how these things perform. With that being said, there is a lot to take into consideration. So things you need to know: analog headphones use DAC or digital to analog converters. Okay, so this relies more on hardware than what's built into the USB devices. So if you have a USB headphone, generally all of the thinking parts, as it were, the part that processes the audio, is built directly into the headphones. So both headsets that I'm reviewing today are analog headphones. Next up, you have wired or wireless. Both sets that I'm reviewing today are wired. Then there's earbuds, there's closed, there's open, there's stereo, there's surround. Stereo, I think you guys will have an understanding of separating the right from the left. Surround tries to create a sound stage to make it sound like sounds are coming from different parts around you. So if I'm gonna do a review, I need to lay down some metrics, right? We need to know what we're measuring these up against. So the three things to look for are build quality. Build quality is exactly like it sounds. Does it feel like how much you're spending? Does it feel cheap? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel like it's gonna break the first time you do anything to it? Next up, you've got comfort. So how much does it squeeze on your head? What materials that the parts around or on your ears are made of? How heavy is it? Does it use cloth? Does it use pleather or synthetic leather? Again, the cloth helps for breathing. The synthetic leather is generally a little bit more luxurious and a little bit more comfortable up against the skin. And thirdly, and this one is probably the most subjective, which is silly because this is also one of the most important things, the actual sound quality that your headphones are delivering. You want something that's a good mix for games and for music. Now, I ran this up against really high rate audio so I could kind of tell the difference a little better, and I threw it up against a slew of different kinds of games. Again, to give a wider range of how these things perform. And really, I should add mic quality as well, because both of these sets have mics as an option. I think we've actually laid out all the guidelines. Let's get to actually talking about some pros, talking about some cons. What do you get with these different headsets? So the first one I'm going to start with is the HyperX Cloud Stinger. Now, this thing goes for $50 US, $70 Canadian, and something that's really important is this thing is only 275 grams. So with a 50mm driver and a 3.5mm 4-pole plug, and this comes with an extension splitter, the first metric I have to throw at this is the build quality. Now, this is plastic, okay? So the top is plastic, the cans have a plastic outer shell, and it's got a steel on the inside. Now, because it is so light, one of my concerns was that this would be easily broken, and it's hard. It's hard to just be rough with these things, but I kind of had to be. So I tossed it around. When I put it on, I wasn't careful about how far I opened it. Same with the mic when I moved it up and down, although the mic has kind of got like this rubberish material over top of it that, again, you can kind of set where you want. The build material quality, I would definitely say, is good. So it's light, but the quality of the material is good. Next up is the comfort. Now, one of the things that actually matters for comfort is how tight it squeezes on your head. And this thing's actually got a decent squeeze, but I never found it to be uncomfortable. And I ran this for a couple of hours at a time, and I never had any issues. My ears got a little bit hot at one point, but again, it's got the leatherette and the memory foam around it. So it does make a pretty tight seal, but because it's got that memory foam, it didn't put any pressure down. And I had one of my friends who wears glasses try it for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and he said, for whatever reason, that wasn't putting any pressure on his glasses either. It was giving relief based on the memory foam. So high points in the comfort level. I really have to stress, this is a very light headset. And if you're wearing it for any period of time, that matters for comfort. Now, the audio quality is the next thing we want to touch on. First up, I should mention that there is a volume slider underneath the right side, so you can turn it up, turn it down directly on the can itself. Everything I threw at this sounded really, really good. Based on the weight, and I really shouldn't do that. Whenever I get peripherals, if something feels too light, I get concerned that they went cheap. And that really isn't how this thing performed. The audio quality on this was amazing. I know this is created as a gamer headphone, but the audio quality is really on par with, I would say, significantly more expensive. You're not going to throw this up against a $300 pair of, you know, some of the higher end headphones. It's not gonna have that range, but it blew me away with the range it had at its price point. And I should also touch on the mic. Now, the mic itself has an auto mute function. So whenever it's up, it's muted, and whenever it drops down, it's fully functional. I tested this with Google Docs. I wanted to see how well it was able to understand me when I just wanted it to type what I was saying. I tested this in games with friends, and the audio quality was really, really good. Now, does it have any cons? It kind of does. Now, the mic is not removable, and I actually like to be able to remove the mic. However, it does flip totally upright. So is it a big con? Again, based on what you're spending, not so much. And some people would see that as a pro, because if you're taking your headset with you from location to location, if you're bringing it to your friends, if you're going to a tournament, wherever you're bringing it, now you're not going to lose it. It is attached. Another con, and again, I don't know whether to really call this a con or not, is the fact that it's got that leatherette surrounding. I way prefer it over the velour or over the cloth. I find it really, really comfortable. However, again, if your ears get hot really easy, maybe that's something you have to be worried about. So for their asking price, I really do. I recommend the HyperX Cloud Stinger. Man, you guys have to put cloud in front of all of them? I digress. Let's get to the next one. Next up in the family is the HyperX Cloud Core. Now this one comes with a 53mm driver compared to the 50mm driver of the HyperX Cloud Stinger. This one goes for 70 US or 90 Canadian. This one is also 320 grams versus 275 grams, which isn't a really big difference, but it does add up over time. So let's get to the metrics. Now this one comes with an aluminum expanding base. The material on the top is not plastic. This is kind of, again, it's a leatherette with a foam. The other one had foam as well, if you weren't able to see. The top was hard plastic on the other one with a foam underside just to make it more comfortable resting on the top of your head. The leatherette, again, with the memory foam styling that pushes up against on return. However, the cans are not plastic here. They've got metal, well, they're not just plastic. They're metal and plastic. This one has an exposed cable running out of the can, running up into the head strap across the other side, so it can come down into the cable that plugs into either your PC or your VR set or your Xbox One or your PlayStation 4 or whatever it is that you're using this thing for. Now the quality per dollar on this one, again, feels really high-end. This one feels maybe a little bit more high-end than the other one, but it costs more, so that's the trade-off. Now, the Cloud Core has just a little bit more of a richer sound. The basses are just a little bit deeper. Again, I tested the mic quality on this, and this thing actually has a foam piece sitting directly over top, like a pop filter. The Cloud Core Stinger doesn't have as much foam around the microphone, and you can hear a little more popping on the P's, for example. It's almost not there, but the quality of the Cloud Core microphone is for sure better than the Cloud Core Stinger. Plus, it is also removable. So if you don't want it in your face, you can unplug it, bada bing, bada boom. It's not an issue anymore. It does adjust a little bit better. This has more of a bendy wire, so you can really adjust exactly how your mic sits compared to the other one, which is like a rough, but both deliver good quality. HyperX, I am honestly impressed. Now these are both wired headsets. I don't know what quality they can pull off with their wireless. You know, I haven't really played with a lot of their other stuff aside from their headsets, but I am sold. These are both really good quality. Now, if you're using this for VR and you're questioning whether you want to run the ones that are built in or not, that's a really tough decision to make, because for myself, these will be PC gaming headphones. I won't switch over from the deluxe audio strap or from my Oculus ones, just because when you're switching back and forth from users, it doesn't make sense to have extra wires running around and then having an extra set of headphones. However, if you don't have headphones, if you're running, like I said, a Windows Mixed Reality set, if you're running your Vive without headphones as is, this is something that's very much an option. That's kind of it. Thank you so much for watching. HyperX, I was scared you were gonna send me mediocre product, and our reviews will always be honest. So no matter what we ever get in the future, I will tell it like it is. We don't score hardware ever because it doesn't make sense. It's too much of that is based on how much you're willing to spend. But I can tell you for quality of product, I would recommend both of these. HyperX, you did a good job. And viewers, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share. I love hearing from you if you have questions. I will scour the interwebs and do my very best to help you in any way I can. I am out of here for now, and I will talk to you again real soon. See ya.